Light snow falls outside of the tavern on the northern edge of the Travelers District of Merewood. Small fire in the hearth to fight back the ever encroaching cold. There's been enough supplies to make a bit of soup. And there in the bowl in front of you, Cypher, there's a bit of potato, a bit of carrot. Casey, Peach, the two of you are on watch. You guys are resting. The sounds of whatever pops and cracks of thunder and lightning and explosions you had heard off in the west have faded out. Whatever was happening there seems to have ended. It's been several hours now since the Deathbrew Alchemist was defeated.
You said it's Casey and Peach?
Mm-hmm.
And we're on watch.
Yeah.
Looking around. Is Peach surprised to see Casey?
Well, he was there the whole time, but he also wasn't. Wasn't he gone?
Yeah, I think Peach glances over at Casey and does a double take, and as that sort of familiar deja vu feeling washes over, she blinks hard at him, goes, Casey, what do you remember of the past hour or so?
That's it. Oh, the past hour?
Yeah, do you remember anything other than going on watch with me?
Yeah. And Peach, as you say that, glancing just past Casey, you see Cypher there at the table. And Ava, as you're coming downstairs, you notice both Casey and Cypher down there as well.
Cypher, when did you get in?
When did I get in?
You were flat missing. We saw scrape marks on the wall. We saw blood and fur. We thought you were torn off by something. Am I losing my mind? Somebody. Who else is around here?
I mean, I stepped out for a little bit, but...
The sound of Peach's voice rising catches the attention of the others, so anyone who wants to come to the scene can.
Cypher had been kicked back with her feet on the table, but at Peach's alarm, Cypher looks confused, but she gets up and approaches Peach like, hey, I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm fine. The stuff you're talking about didn't happen to me. Take a breath.
No, I swear you were. I mean, or at least we assume you didn't go missing from our head like Casey did. Who else? Esmond, Beth. Somebody else coming down around here.
Peaches, your pulse starts to raise. You start to hear a strange tone just at the edge of your hearing, like this kind of the ring of tinnitus, and then there's a brief sound of cracking glass. And it fades.
Ava, I think there's something wrong with Peach. Can you come check her out?
What's going on?
Ava is yawning as she walks down the stairs and sort of overhearing the conversation. As wiping sleep sort of from her eyes. Hearing what Kabeth says, she kind of perks up a little bit and sort of takes up her speed and walks a little bit faster towards Kate. What's
Cypher
wrong?
was speaking in. Peach is in the room. This is so strange. You're in a different universe than us.
Yeah, what's happening to you?
Who's Kate?
Oh, good God. So sorry.
Cypher was
And
also
also,
speaking.
and
Beth
Cypher's
has
the one
Both
that
of
was
those names, all those
speaking.
names are
Right.
wrong. 100% of those names were wrong.
God,
but in entirely different ways.
man, I was not expecting to be called like that. I just completely blinked on everything. All right.
Ava
Let's
wakes
start
up in
over.
a different universe.
Absolutely. Let's see if we can get the Ava from this one. All right. So this one wakes up, goes down, hears Peach and Seyfried talking, hears what Seyfried says, and walks towards Peach to sort of see, starting to ask, like, what's wrong?
Ava, so there's like a headache or something, but that's not. It's beside the point. Seyfried and Casey are both here and fine.
Oh, yeah. When did you guys... All right, obviously,
Do you remember them being missing though, right?
yeah. Yes, because what do you guys remember from last night? She asked Seyfried and Casey.
Seyfried.
What did I say?
No,
You're
you're
fine,
fine.
you're
You're
fine.
fine.
Oh, okay.
Seyfried is in the dark, dusty hallway of one of the neighboring buildings. She sees a shimmering glow inside of a doorway. She thinks about it, awash with the confusion of Salinger going missing and the cracks in the sky and the portals across the universe, and decides to reach out a hand and touch the doorway. The second she does, it sucks in her arm, and at first feels cool, begins to burn. Her feet scramble, her claws scraping against the floor. She whips her free arm backwards, claws digging into the door frame, like tearing shreds and splinters off as she gets sucked in with one final breath into the Death Brew Alchemist. There's there's a surge of panic. Her heart is racing. She can't think straight. Instinctively, she uses her precious breath to speak out in desperation the words of a spell deep within her bones, and evaporates into mist, reappearing back into the hallway. She immediately scrambles, clambers out, slick with slime, and whips around and bolts out the door, yelling for Peach, who she saw outside, Casey, who she knew was keeping an eye on the sky, and comes careening into the building just as the Death Brew Alchemist chases out into the square, and battle ensues.
Back in the present.
So then, so there was that. I got in, I got out, I came
so,
here,
all right.
we all went there, we killed it, we came back here, and then I took a bath and kicked up by the fire. I don't know. That's all I remember.
What? That's not what I remember. We couldn't find you. Shalati looked for you everywhere. We were on our tail too, and we fought the Death Brew Alchemist. It's gone, but you weren't there for that fight. At least not. Casey, you weren't there either. But we all had that deja vu feeling about you, Casey, and we thought Seyfried something had actually real happened to Doc. What? Doc, are you feeling the same as me? You and me have the same memory, right?
I mean, I have that effect on people sometimes.
Ava continues. She starts to think back and listening to what Peach had said. DM, does she recall, or does that start to fade?
For Ava, Peach, Beth, Esmond, Shalati, if she's around, you remember very distinctly that sinking feeling of finding that bit of fur, scrap of weave. But also the story that Seyfried's just said. It's true. You remember that.
No, Peach, I definitely remember what you... Well... Yeah, no, I remember... I remember both things happening.
I think Beth walks into the room here, and she's going, "Hey, is there any more soup left?"
I'm back so fast, it's like I never left.
I'm glad. And she kind of looks around, and she's like,
Wait.
So speaking of alternate realities, my internet keeps kind of going out a little bit, so I might sometimes miss a couple seconds here and there of what happens.
It's because your internet's too fast.
Apparently.
Like a stone skipping on a pond surface. Seyfried is still like hovering near Peach. I mean, clearly your memory feels vivid, but when Salinger went missing, we all had a bunch of like, I don't know, false or other memories and stuff, right? But like, I'm fine. Maybe that one was fake and the real one is the one where I didn't die and I'm right here.
Let's try to remember this one, I think.
Esmond,
Oh no, go ahead.
I was going to say, Esmond starts coming down the stairs, and you hear the loud thumps of Typhon falling behind him, and Zephyr zips down and starts greeting everybody. And as he comes down, he just kind of out loud to everyone states, "Yeah, like Seyfried's saying, this apparently doesn't seem to be too different from what we experienced with Sal. Seems a bit more one-sided, but at the same time, Sal also did not have any wildly different recollections. He came with us and, stayed at the tavern with the rest of us, so there's no reason that Seyfried or O wouldn't have the same experience."
As Esmond speaks about Salinger, wasn't he just here?
DM, do I still have the ringing in my ears or the tinnitus feeling? Or
It's faded.
Beth steals Seyfried's potato, and she's not looking.
Motherfucker. And Esmond just leans against the railing, just puts his head down.
I think Charlotte comes down. Is this the next morning?
You guys are still in the midst of your long rest. This is not interrupting your rest.
Okay. Like this look of immense relief flashes across her face, and then she struts forward and grabs Seyfried into a hug and says, "What are you?" "I found," and she digs in her pouch and pulls out that little bloody handful of fur, and said, "We couldn't find you, and there were the claw marks. Why did you go scouting alone? You know we are not supposed to go anywhere alone."
Seyfried, Seyfried quietly just lets herself be lectured. Wait, so you had the same It sounds like you're saying the same thing that Peach is saying. Looks like a version of me had a really close call, but this version of me found a sick rope and is fine. So
If you hand it over, I can take a look at it and maybe see if I can cure it. Or
Version? What do you mean, version?
Peach laughs at Doc's joke.
DM, Esmond's gonna reach into his bag and see if he can. He had grabbed the items from the gelatinous cube as well as the piece of patch or patterned weave that belonged to Cyphered. He's gonna reach into his bag and try and find that. Can he? Is that still in his possession?
Yeah, you look into your bag, fish around for a moment, and you see it there at the bottom. A piece of woven grass, and as you glance up at Cyphered, you can see it's that part of her outfit.
I pull it out and I bring it along and place it in front of her. This is what we found of you yesterday, though there weren't any true signs of a struggle, which was the strangest part of it all.
And Cyphered, as you look at the piece of woven grass, it's without a doubt the specific pattern that your family uses.
Her ears sink down low. She looks perturbed. But she'll pick it up and and investigate it.
You can see the edges of it have been dissolved in some acid, and it's in bad shape, but the pattern is quite clear.
As she's holding it, the fur, any visible fur, like up the middle of her back and the back of her neck, becomes like spiked and raised. Like her hackles raise as like a chill visibly goes up her spine. She sets the grass weave back on the table. I have no explanation for that. Just
as you guys stand around the piece of grass weave hanging in Cyphered's paw, all of you start to hear a slight high-pitched sound, get a faint feeling of disorientation. Let me have everybody roll a wisdom perception check, actually.
Yeah, that was a pretty decent roll for me.
Peach doesn't notice a thing.
Esmond and Cyphered, actually. As you get that moment of disorientation, you see the colors of everything in front of you separate for just a moment and warble, and then come back together. And everyone hears very brief sound of cracking glass.
That's creepy.
That was disconcerting.
I think we're still being hexed.
Well, we have to stop this, actually, probably. I mean, it seems like trying to make sense of all this isn't gonna get us anywhere, but like telling everybody about the other things that they can't remember, I don't know. Like if this keeps happening, we can't just keep telling ourselves of the histories that the other person doesn't know about, right?
Yeah, you
What?
don't remember it wrong.
No, that doesn't make sense to me, Doc. We all need to know what is the shared common memory, because that's, I don't know, whatever, that's the line we're on, right? And then any other variations from it, we can't all duck down a variant and just say that that's the new real. We need to know what each other are thinking and feeling so that we know what's most likely the real thing.
Yeah. Salinger, you see that Esmond has his hand up a little bit.
I think the brains of the operation might have some insight. Or something to share.
Okay, good. So
Ooh, pause 1 second.
Does mine
Sean,
sound weird?
your
bad.
microphone is like a different microphone. That's not your.
It might be your headset.
Check your input.
This was a prop mic.
All right, do that one more time.
Oh, shit. Okay, you are here. That's good. This is getting ridiculous. DM, what direction is the sound of that glass cracking coming from?
Everywhere.
Esmond's
There's
gonna...
there's no directionality to it. It's like it's happening inside your mind.
But which side?
Is it my front side or back side? Or is it the right side? God, don't tell me it's the left side.
I'm sorry I ruined the rhythm.
No.
Esmond's just gonna kind of meander from the conversation, just like walk to a nearby window and just kind of look over the surrounding area and like see if he can get a look up at the sky.
Okay. Yeah, you guys see Esmond move to the window.
Nope, don't leave. Don't go alone.
Without looking back, I'm not going anywhere.
I mean, I'm not sure that going. I mean, in terms of like going places, I concede that it's dangerous to go scouting off places by yourself without telling anybody what you're doing. But aside from that, I don't think that wherever anybody is will actually keep people from popping in and out of existence. I think it'll happen anyway, like it keeps doing. I don't know.
Just figure we're more likely to notice if, say we're on patrol, 2 of us, and only one comes back. More likely that the rest of the group notices the missing person, right? Or if we're out 2 of us or 3 of us and one of us gets attacked by a zombie, then the other one can, holler for help or go get the rest. We need to be in pairs or trios. No more going off alone, just in case we go missing for whatever reasons.
Shalati is nodding vigorously at this and pointing at Peach.
Yeah, but it wouldn't... I think that's a great idea for the safety, but to what Seyfried's saying, I mean, like, if 2 people go off on patrol and only one comes back, if it's because of all this weird stuff, we'll all just know that one person comes back because we have different memories of whoever the other person was that didn't return, so it won't really help or change anything.
That's not true, because we all still remember the person who is here. We just have different memories of the other things, whatever they are.
Right, exactly, which are rarely the same. Go ahead, Shalati, sorry.
I don't know what happened to Seyfried, but whatever happened with her did not... Are you the real Seyfried?
Yeah.
And she kind of like pokes her in the forearm again, and it says, because... And then she leans over and like pokes Casey in the forearm, just testingly. And then says, because what happened with Salinger and Casey, we had these other memories of them never being here, and we had the ones where they were here. That did not happen with Seyfried.
Yeah,
if someone
go ahead.
If someone just disappears on the patrol or scouting or whatever, then we'll remember them. I thought that maybe it would just be everybody would have remembered 2 people going off and only seeing 1 person would return, but if that's not the case, if this is the real Seyfried, and if that also happens where there's only 1 memory, then how do we know if someone's just legitimately gone and not dead, or that we have to look for them?
Yeah,
And
Shalani,
wait, I'm gonna interrupt. Hold on. As you guys look around, and continue what you're saying after this. As you guys look around right now at everyone in this room, you know, at least for right now, everyone who is supposed to be here is here.
Okay, that's good to know. Because Peach kind of looks at Seyfried and says, "There," but kind of talking to Shalani, but looking at Seyfried, but talking, yeah. Anyway, being a little bit distant, Peach says, "Well, Seyfried, I didn't have the memory of you going off and coming back until you came and told it to me, or until we realized you were here back again. I don't have that false. I mean, I believe you're you, but
No, that's definitely
Shalani's
ours.
right that it was weird and different. It was a different scenario. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to start no witch hunt or nothing."
Wait, hold on. I, the player. Can you restate what you just said?
Okay, so when Sal and Casey went missing, we all had false memories of them from before we came to the area. When Seyfried went missing, it appeared that Seyfried was missing in our reality because of some injury or some horrible thing having happened. So when you appeared and said that you had the experience where you confronted the Deathbringer alchemist on your own, escaped and returned, suddenly we all could now remember that. But before that point, we did not have that memory, to
Did we
the
remember
player's
that?
understanding.
You guys remember my sequence of events just as real as the one that you experienced.
Right.
Okay,
but
so we
didn't
do
remember
have
until
2
she
sets
told
of
us.
memories.
Right, but not until she told us it. It's not like having false different memories like we did of Casey and Sal. We all have the same.
It's exactly the same feeling.
Oh, it's exactly the same feeling, but it's a different effect because we don't have different memories. We all have the same shared too.
I mean, this is definitely our Seyfried, because our Seyfried wouldn't have let that happen to her, and he points to the tuft of patterned clothing.
The player definitely misunderstood that sequence. So
Yeah, I the player am also confused. Is it like actually the same and I'm super confusing things as Kate, or
so in terms of the intuition your characters have about which memory is real, they both feel they have both there's in when it occurs they both feel equally real. You used your consensus to determine which one was true. When Salinger returned, all those other memories began to fade like dreams, right? But at this moment, both the memories that you have of Seyfried are equally real.
That's what I said. Exactly. Thank you, DM.
I mean, I still think we're being hexed. We could leave.
Well, could be a hex, could be something else, could be just the world's falling apart in a different new way. The more disconcerting part to me isn't our fading memories and misunderstandings and misconceptions that we have to remind ourselves of, but the very writing and notes we took vanished. That disturbs me more.
Yeah, we lose hard evidence.
right, this time the evidence hasn't changed. And she looks at the little bit of fur in the scrap cloth, unlike with Salinger.
Because it's from a reality we all still remember.
She actually wanders over to the window and like sticks her head outside to look up at the sky and count how many cracks there are.
You join Esmond there at the window, and as you guys are looking up, I mean, it's a little hard to say because it spreads off into the north, but it's countless. I mean, it's like someone threw a bowling ball into a windshield.
Oh, so it's not like 4 or 5 but they've just
Yeah,
Does it look like it's more shattered than it was a few hours ago?
you would never be able to tell, but I think you all did at least see like what you saw, like a crack form, but there's just like yesterday I think, but there's just so many you would never be able to see a difference. It would be like one more star appearing. Right?
Right. Okay.
So wait, you guys had different memories of me when I left for a little bit ago?
You died at the train when it derailed.
I
For
just
me.
remember.
That doesn't track.
I just remember us leaving you behind for reasons. But Peach blushes.
Leave me behind.
Aspen turns back from the window to join the rest of the group, seeing that there wasn't any immediate threat or cause for any concern to them. I mean, shake your head all you want, but the memories that we all have are as real as the ones that we first came to town with, so there's nothing to be done about it except to accept that something's...
You can meow all you want, but I mean, your memories may be real, but that doesn't mean they actually happened.
That's true. You can rewrite memories like stories. That's just something that's true. You can
What?
retell something until you remember it different.
No, you don't. What?
You can. Kate just knows that about psychology. Your memories, every
Yes.
time you remember it, you're
In
remembering it.
character, in character.
No.
Kate doesn't know that. Yeah, Kate doesn't know that. Or sorry,
Oh.
Peach, excuse me.
Okay.
Peach is being too smart. Peach has not taken psychology classes.
Maybe some people can do that. Story's only supposed to go one way. Beginning, middle, end. That's why people keep telling it.
I know, but each time it's retold by a different person, it gets different.
If that's the case, Casey's dead. Or at least partially. That's what I remembered from him.
Me too.
I don't like that at all, and I am going to stick with the consensus narrative, the historical record, and not whatever this... I'm going with Hex. I like Casey's idea of Hex, and it's making me very uncomfortable, and I'd rather just deal with the problem at hand instead of having this... What is this?
I nudge Casey, and I'm like, I remembered you staying behind to become mayor.
Casey.
It sounds like something I would do.
A couple hours ago.
Yeah, after just being nudged by Gabeth, he says, sounds like something I do. But you all remember it wrong. And he kind of looks up into the corner of the room. Doesn't speak. But several hours ago, he hears the scream in the tavern. All his friends are there as well, except for Seifrid. He looks around at all of them. None of them heard it. He nips out of the window he just came in from. Looks back at his friends. They'll be fine. Jumps from rooftop to rooftop. This one's a little farther. Makes the leap. Grabs on. Pulls himself up. Looks back and forth. Must have gone from that way. He runs over. Slides to the edge of the roof. Here's a rustle from inside that building. There it is. Leaps down. Runs across the alleyway. Up against the door. Here. Throws an elbow into the door, breaking it open, and spins in. Seeing Seifrid burst into mist in the doorway in some sort of weird shimmery light and appear just outside of the Death Brew Alchemist, covered in grime and goo. She shakes her paws out, starts to clean her ears vigorously. Don't worry. Everyone's back at the tavern. Get back. I've got this. Death Brew Alchemist takes off down the hallway, slithering out of a window, wriggling as it fits through to pop out the other side. You're not going to get away that easy. Cuts back Turns left, turns right. There's no doors out of this room. Why are there no doors out of this room? Runs back to the other way. No doors out of that room. Window. Runs over. Kicks through the window. The glass breaks out. He lands. Left, right. 2 zombies. Too slow. Kicks off. Kicking through the dirt. Kicking up mud and snow as his footprints leave little cinders of ash as he chases through the streets. Death Alchemist wriggles around the next corner. No, not fast enough. He runs, jumps up a barrel onto a box, flips sideways onto the roof, kicks across the rooftops, cutting back and forth, seeing the wriggle around each corner as he closes the gap. Comes up closely, starts to approach. Yeah, it's the clearing where the well is. Kicks through a little side passage, jumps down just in front of the Death Brew Alchemist. He wriggles to a stop. Starts to jiggle vigorously. Oh, that's how you want to play it. Nope. Snaps a finger and speaks a word low and guttural, like the rumbling of a volcano just before it explodes. Casey starts to shimmer, and then 3 more Caseys shoot out to each side of him. And the 4 Caseys take a step back, take a fighting position. He looks left, looks right at each other Casey and says, "Well, it's just you and me." And then the other Casey says, "Well, it's just you and me." 3rd Casey, 4th Casey, "Well, it's just you and me." And then they kick off as the 4 of them circle the Death Brew Alchemist. It jiggles defiantly and stretches up as all 4 Caseys snap their fingers and fire erupts in their hands, and they leap forward in a burst of flame and explosion. Casey returns to the tavern, up to the rooftop, quietly opens the window, looks in to see his friends in there, Seifert having returned safely. He kind of ducks in, shakes off a little bit of soot from his hand, moves downstairs just as Peach is going on watch. "I'll join you."
You guys all do remember Casey wasn't there for a second.
Yeah. As Casey returns from his moment of looking into the corner of the room, he's like, "Sal's right, though. There's some sort of hex going on there. They're messing with our minds. We have to move out of this area. Otherwise, we might be trapped."
There's no evidence that it's a hex, but regardless, the point stands that, as we all agreed to previously,
Some barking in the city.
yeah, who would have thought that dogs existed right now?
They're zombie dogs. They just don't bark.
Yeah.
Aw.
Flashback to the Zomdogs that we fought when we first got here.
If we all feel like we're done here and we just want to pack it up and leave, all the better. Ray is waiting for us back in town anyway.
Can we finish resting first? Some of us are still very tired. Some of us also fought a battle.
Who?
Wait, what do you mean Array is back in town?
Ray is back in town waiting for us, obviously.
Salinger, you don't know who she's talking about in Peaches. She mentions Araya. Like that kid from the temple that they never let come play with you?
Yeah. She came to the chef sound like once a month. Why would we invite her along? She doesn't even live in the town.
What are you talking about?
Who? Wait, no.
Okay, great.
No, that tiefling girl from the temple, you know.
Damn it.
Yeah, she
Nope.
was spent like every day with us for like the past several months.
Correct.
No.
She also was here with us just a few moments ago. She cleared the well just earlier today.
Chris, do I still have the
that can't be
scar on
right.
my
We just
hand?
threw dynamite inside.
Do I still have the scar from the matching scar with Araya?
You tell me. Do
Yeah, Beth looks at her hand, and there's still a scar across from when she and Araya sacrificed blood to her forge. And she's like, that wasn't that long ago. She's definitely still here. She's
Wait.
still here.
Are you
She
guys talking
definitely
about?
didn't come.
You guys are talking about Athelia. Yeah, she's just in the other room.
Who's Athelia?
So, can,
Yeah, who's Athelia there, Casey? I haven't heard that name in my life.
Is she also part of your personal life fan fiction, or
That was her name. The girl you're talking about, the girl from the temple.
yeah, the
her
girl
name is
from the temple,
Araya.
Araya?
Was it Araya?
Get it right. Come on, she's the only tiefling in town.
Well, in the reality that I remember, I'm super tired because I fought a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm gonna figure this stuff out with you guys after I get sleep.
No, okay, agreed. We all need to finish resting. We need to. I think we agree that we're gonna head west. That's where we saw flares, potentially people past the train yard. So if we're gonna do that, we need to be fully rested. I have theories about this issue where one of us disappears and we all have different memories of the same person. I have an idea about it, but for now, I think we should all just finish resting.
I think if there is one common thing among all the people who have disappeared, it's that nothing that we have done has brought them back. They've just appeared. So,
Correct, I have a
if
theory
that's
about that.
then there's nothing we can do, and you're right. We should all just get rest and keep on with our plans.
And as Esmond mentions the sounds in the west, you all do remember flash of blue, a crack of lightning, an orange explosion of fire. Was it an hour ago now? It went on for minutes at least. And then it began to dwindle down, a little pop here and there. And it had stopped.
We all just looked at that and were like, fuck that. And stayed in place.
Mm-hmm.
Too sleepy, can't be bothered.
You'd estimate it was more than, almost an hour.
Yeah.
Probably 40 minutes.
And so confused. Go ahead.
Also, considering how incredibly short combat actually has been for us, the idea of going an hour, we would be like 59 minutes late for the action.
Oh yeah, exactly. But yeah, and so confused and still tired and happy to see Seyfried, who never left and has always been there, but almost died. Ava just sort of starts to slink back up and go back to stairs, sort of holding her head, trying to make sense of it and hoping that Esmond will have something that makes any bit of sense when she gets up in the morning. So she exits the scene.
Wait. Sal has a string of scarves that he's been tying together. Why don't we just connect these to each other so if somebody goes missing, at least we see a thread hanging off? Because I can't do this anymore. This will kill me if somebody else just... I forgot an entire person? No. Here. He hands everybody a scarf. You attach this to some person, at least one person, and that way if you got a dangle, then we know somebody's missing. Because the next thing that happens might not be false memories. I completely forgot Araya. And no.
Okay, yeah.
So you're not disappearing. Pick a buddy.
She looks
If it'll make you feel better.
Ava will take one and sort of like look towards Shalati.
Charlotte is already moving toward Ava, but nodding at Salinger.
Okay.
It will make me feel better, and maybe my breathing will get under control, and I won't feel quite so dizzy. Doc, what's a panic attack feel like?
Well,
Peach sort of quietly puts her hand
Too
on
tired.
Chris.
No, too tired. I'm probably just nervous. I'm fine.
Ava speaks some words. She casts calm emotions on the entire group. You should, hopefully, this will help to relax until I fall asleep, and you're on your own. And she goes upstairs, wrapping the scarf around her neck, and headed back towards the room, feeling
Who's
a
your
little bit
buddy?
better.
Who are you going with?
Shalati.
Okay.
Sorry, the idea that you chose to wrap the scarf around each other's necks to be buddies is no.
Around her wrist.
When you
and
are at
this-
different heights, vastly different heights. What are you?
But also, if she puts her around her wrist and Ava puts her on her neck, like there's some weird leash dom thing going on.
Yeah, that's why I'm giggling.
Ava will think about that in the morning and leave it on.
Ava at night. I bet this awakens something in me. I think Shalati, like lying in her bedroll next to Ava, is both like absently fretting with the scarf and turning the little the bracelet that in one reality Araya had given her around on the wrist, on her wrist, and in another memory she remembers her father giving it to her, and just worrying over this until she falls asleep.
Araya can be my buddy. Here you go. Seyfried hands Araya part of the other half of her buddy system tether.
Wait, before we do that, is Araya actually here though, or just listening?
Yeah.
I could be here, but you said my name, and I was like, oh shit, I need a recap.
You're here? Okay.
I have texturing to do, but the official meetings have all stopped, so.
Yeah, the only thing you need to know for a moment is that, everyone's getting ready. Salinger had an idea to give everyone, like, connecting threads. They could share a scarf, so you'd know if someone went missing.
At first, I thought it was everyone connected together, but it's buddy system.
I also thought it was everyone at first. Like it was like an octave,
like just like
scarves, and like how
like
are we all gonna
chain.
sleep?
Somewhere along the way, someone's going to the bathroom.
Specifically, I forgot Araya existed, which was unsettling to me.
Toddlers on a chain. Oh my god.
No,
I can still not exist. That's okay.
Also, it works
No,
better with
you're
Giant
here, you're my
Kabeth and all of
buddy.
us on. Just saying, I think it's funnier that way. Then we're toddler-sized compared to her.
Oh my gosh, yep.
Alright. Let's do this. Who are the last two people who stay up on the watch that night? Esmond, Kabeth.
Well, I'm tied to Esmond. So
I'm on watch, but also seeking out more food because I need 3 times the amount in order to rest.
Salinger, you want to be buddies?
Yep, makes sense.
Wait, who's my buddy?
no, you got Ez now. You're both on watch.
Yeah, you and Ez are buddies.
We have an odd number.
Casey's just tethered to Esmond. He's not on watch.
Well,
Make
as Casey and Casey head up to sleep, that leaves Esmond and Kabeth. Yeah, the others have turned in. There's a crackle of fire. Snow is still coming down outside. It's been quiet now.
I've put more water on to boil in the pot, and you see me reach into one pocket, and I pull out a handful of jerky meat, and I toss that in, and then in the other hand, I pull out a potato, and I look at it, and I look at the pot, and I just throw it in whole. And I'm reaching deep into another pocket, looking for something else.
Yeah, Esmond sees that but doesn't really react, and he just he's been going back and forth between walking around and checking windows, watching the perimeter, and going back to a table near the fireplace and making erratic notes and sketches in his journal. He pulls back from his notebook and just sighs deeply as he leans back against the seat that he's in. Just this is getting too hectic.
I agree. I kind of just want to go home, but I guess we gotta go investigate those things that happened in the West, although we no longer think it's Casey, obviously, because Casey's theoretically back. I mean, we don't know where he is exactly now. We assume he's sleeping.
I mean, he first reported it. He announced it to everyone initially, and I just verified it after we took out the that cube creature. And then there was whatever was happening in that direction a couple hours ago. So, I mean, the original reason one of the reasons that we first came here was to help any survivors that we could find. So, we should see if there is anyone else left to help.
Of course. Hey, do you think there's those creatures in other geometric shapes? Do you think they're always cubes, or do you think like sometimes they're like pyramid shapes, or what if it's a sphere and it just rolls?
Sure, you know what? There is just as much likelihood that they could operate in pyramid shapes as they could in spheres or cubes. Yeah, sure. Just as likely chances them appearing as they have been with us.
Just wondering. Well, I mean, we can. Do you need more help with reading? We can sit and read. I mean, my stew's gonna boil for a bit.
No. There's no between with keeping watch. It's better to take notes on things that I'm thinking about than to try and sit and study. It's impossible to retain any information when I have to distract myself by walking around and checking the perimeter and stuff. I do have something for you though. Before the library was destroyed, he reaches into his bag and goes shoulder deep before he pulls out a relatively thin book, not a ton of pages. It's not a children's book, but like a preteen book, or preteen length book, I guess. And he hands it to you, and the title of the book is "The Seven Dragons and Their Seven Knights." And so I found that in the library. I did a quick scan of it, and I figured that it would be a fun little story for you to read to your siblings when we get back. It seems to be kind of like a coming of age romance type thing, but not exactly up my alley, so to speak. But they might like it.
Not up your alley at all.
Not this style, no. I mean, we've yes, I like romance, but not like not like this. This is too young for me.
Well, I'll have to, read the whole thing to make sure that it's appropriate to read to my younger siblings, but thank you. It's really appreciated.
Yeah, sure.
She opens the page and then audibly goes, "Oh."
I did skip the first page, so there might be something scandalous. I don't know.
I'm just kidding. I haven't started reading it yet. I just wanted to.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
It's fine. No, thank you. I appreciate you thinking of me, especially since I didn't get a chance to look through that building before it, got smashed, which is a shame.
Yeah, well, I got lucky and managed to find something, and I thought of you and your siblings, and I just thought that you all would appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Doing all right?
I'm worried about home. Really worried. I mean, the whole earth just shifted and changed, and who knows how far that goes, and what if it reaches home, and what it could have unsurfaced. I don't know. I know that we have more to do here, and there are people to help, but I can't help but worry.
Yeah. I've just been trying to focus on the things that we can work on right now, but that doesn't stop from the more pressing concerns about our families, about home, from peeking up in the back of my mind. And, yeah, I feel similarly. I imagine we all feel similarly.
I mean, I know that your mom will take good care of my siblings, but given all the things that have already happened in the past year or so, I don't know what they could do if something worse appeared. So I guess you're right. We just have to focus on doing what we can here and get home as soon as we can.
Yeah. Not much else to do, really. Esmond's gonna get up and stretch, and I'm gonna go do another walk, check the perimeter. Might want to watch your potato. I think it's nearly boiled over, actually.
She kind of moves the pot up to her. Wait, we should go together. Buddy system. Don't separate. She takes the pot off the fire and it stops boiling. And she's like, "This will keep until I get back."
Right. Yeah. Let's go.
Too much longer. As more time passes and all of you have finished a long rest.
Man, it feels like it's been a month.
It was already daylight when you went to sleep. It's still daylight when you wake up.
It's long days to be productive. Ava will awake, not at first light, because that happened hours ago, but sometime after the sun's come up, I guess. And sort of yawning, grateful that she tried to go back to sleep, and seeing that I guess most people are either waking up or still resting. She kind of just moves to a table area and pulls out some parchment and a little thing of ink, and starts to like unroll it onto a desk or a table, and sort of and places some weights on the end of this parchment to kind of hold the different ends of it down. And then she's gonna yawn and then start to like think about something, and it looks like she's preparing to cast a spell. Not yet. She's just in preparations.
Esmond will join you, sit near you, offer any assistance, but will otherwise just watch what you're doing.
she'll chat with him for a little bit while she's sort of doing preparations, and she'll explain to it what she's gonna be doing in a second.
I mean, Peach, I know at some point you'd want to do a scene. You can just execute that, I guess, when you want to.
Okay. I had to step away for a moment in real life. Are we middle of the night, or what is the situation?
You guys have finished long resting, so it's the relative morning. People are just kind of getting ready and stuff like that.
Okay. Is Esmond around? Like, is Kevin present?
Did he just go AFK?
Yes, he did just go AFK, so we can do the scene at a later point. It doesn't matter. No worries. Peach looks for Esmond, and he's not there.
Other people, feel free to jump in and say what you're doing. Otherwise, I'll.
Shalati probably got up at the same time as Ava, all things considered. And getting ready for the day, she is mostly just rifling through her pack while Ava does her spellcasting thing, and then sits up and then closes her eyes and focuses for a moment. There's a strong smell of salt water, and the shimmering image, like, of her sister appears. Well, first she's sort of outlined with blue-green, and then Shalon stands up from the same position that Shalati was sitting in. Shalati shakes her head a bit, wiping away like a trickle of blood that had come out of her nose, and starts to go about to feed herself with her sister in close attendance.
He comes down with a length of fabric tied to one of his wrists, dragging behind him. There's no one attached to the other end. He kind of finds a chair and sits back and kind of looks at the cloth for a moment, and then looks around at all his friends. Right. Everyone accounted for then? He says to no one in particular.
I think so. Except whoever you lost, but I don't remember who that was. Oh, yeah. No, Casey, great, you're here. I'm gonna need your help for something before we head out. It shouldn't take more than about less than half an hour, but I'm gonna try to help figure out like paths that we can take so we can navigate a little better than we have previously. But like, I'll need two things. First, to help get like a vantage of like just being able to see outside sort of clearly a little bit above some of the houses and buildings and such. And then I'll need you to like do some firework type stuff a little bit after that.
Yeah, Casey thinks for a moment. Fireworks stuff. And he has a brief memory of giving that stick to Shalati, but then he looks down on his belt and, oh no, it's still there. And, yeah, just let me know what you need. I mean, are you going to come with me? Because I know a roof that's pretty tall.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect. I shouldn't have set up. And she starts to like collect the little paperweights and roll the paper back up. And it's like, yeah. She had explained to Esmond she's going to be casting a spell and she's going to try to draft out a map. So, just a little bit better than the one that they already have. Oh, wait, also, we're gonna go towards the sound and the light over that we saw last night, right? That's where we kind of want to focus.
Yeah, no, we can go that way. We just have to stick to the rooftops. I know the way.
Oh, yeah, no, I just meant in general for, like, I just make sure before. Okay, let's go. And also, no, I don't know if I can run across rooftops. That sounds...
What are you talking about? Of course you can.
She follows after him. I'll be back in, like, half an hour as...
As the two of them head out, Araya and Seifrid, right, if you're there, the two of you hear everyone downstairs. It sounds like everyone's awake and kind of getting ready.
Seifrid wakes up with a bad jolt, sort of gasps and instinctively lunges really hard to the side, the like tether around her waist, jerking Araya like a good foot in, like, from 0 to 60, just like, oh my god. She wakes up with like a huge gasp, eyes wild, heart racing. sorry
Zombies! What?
Nothing. No, sorry, it was just a really vivid dream. It was nothing. Sorry. Are you okay?
No, no, this is fine. Wait. Okay, yeah, you're my buddy today. Okay, that's why.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have slept closer. More slack, you know? What time is it? Peeks out.
Seifrid looks a little green from the adrenaline come down.
Do you need
I don't know. I'm fine. It sounds like other people are up. I'll eat something. I'll be fine. Sorry.
I have crackers. They are not stale though, because they're in the good pouch.
Do you have a bad pouch where they go stale?
Yes, that's the normal pouch. I've got the snack pouch, the good pouch. I put all the fruit and all the crackers in there, and they surprisingly don't taste like fruit crackers. Although, you know, fruit crackers is a pretty good idea. Like a breakfast cracker. Do things in one. We should consider it. Yeah, okay, I'm up. I don't need anything.
Seifrid kind of like Seifrid has like a full body bedhead happening, and she looks tired and haggard, and she just sort of stares, her mouth slightly open, as Araya talks about the fruit crackers until finally, kind of croakily,
no, not those. Those are cursed.
Are you a morning person?
I don't think technically is morning anymore. I think we don't get the luxury of morning, noon, early evening. Everything's kind of condensed, so it's either on or off.
Seifrid groans and flops back onto her bedroll.
No, but if you don't go, I can't go, and I need to heat up some tea water.
Seifrid rolls over.
I can't get closer to you because you roll and like yo-yo up the leash between us.
So sometime later, the two of them will emerge.
Yeah. You know, they should make this part of the festival festivities, not the three-legged race, but this race.
The four-legged race.
Yeah, but with a leash. Then you're hampered, and we pair the fastest, you, with the slowest, me, and then it sort of evens out for everyone, right? Like I'm your handicap.
Oh, but you have to competitively knit the scarves before you tie them on.
I can help with that.
Also, the fastest.
I think they'd have to give you someone other than me to be a true balancing effect. I am average.
I love that for you.
And
Cypher will like brew Hakim and just sort of is like hunched over it.
Pushes a cracker wordlessly to you.
right. Meanwhile, going over to Casey and Ava.
As they go over what is probably the third roof that Casey has cleared quite easily, and Ava is panting with a less exertion and more anxiety of just having to make these 3-4 foot jumps at least from one building to another or plummet 3 stories to the ground.
That's it. You want to lead with your hips.
I don't want to lead at all. I want to go. Can we go? Is there a way down?
Yeah. Just when you kick off, just thrust forward.
How many more of these do we have?
As 20 or so is.
Oh my god. Oh my. Okay. She starts to get a running start, and then she like slows down before the end. Nope. That was a bad one. And
You've got to commit.
yeah, okay, gotta commit. After enough coaxing, she starts to get the hang of it, and gets enough confidence to at least make the jumps. And by the time they're towards the area where as Casey is leading them, Ava will be kind of like smiling a little bit and having just a little bit of fun jumping from one roof to a roof.
Well done.
Yeah. Is that the one? Is that over there?
Yeah, it's just up here.
Okay. When we get there, it'll take like 10 minutes. It'll take me a little time to prep. Oh man, I'm gonna have to try to sketch this on the roof. That's gonna be bad. All right. Well, anyway, it'll take a second to set up, and then after like 10 minutes, I'll be able to talk to you. But then you'll just fire off like a couple of those bolts that you do, or I don't even know if you need a firework, but just something to give me some directions. Basically, it's gonna be, well, I've never done it, but theoretically, it should be like this eye that I'm kind of putting somewhere else, and then I'll see through it. And then I can just, from that vantage point, sort of map stuff out. So that's the idea, anyway. So, a couple more, and then, yeah, we'll get this, test my art skills as well as my jumping. Also, how do your legs not get tired?
Well, I mean, it's on the hips.
And yeah, before the next jump, watching Casey do it, she really does begin to focus on his hips, sort of figuring that they don't seem to sway very much, and realizing that hers do. Also, starting to get an idea of just as she watches his hips, like, maybe that's one of the things that Shalati sees in him. Yeah, and once they get set up, Ava is just going to cast Clairvoyance, and using that eye from several hundred feet in the air, she's going to look through it and have Casey fire something off to give her a little bit of direction where they are, and then just try to look through the streets and sort of map out, okay, this is a general course, and maybe there's a oh, my headphones just died, I think. Maybe there's more zombies over here and less over here, and just sort of try to do a rough sketch to give them some ideas of how to navigate the streets towards where they ultimately want to be.
I like that. Go ahead and link your spell for me into Roll20.
Okay.
You're choosing vision, right, I assume? Okay, cool. Yeah, as though... Oh, what were you saying?
So I'm just confirming you need me to fire off.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry. I'll let you know exactly when to do it. Like, I can still hear you and you can still talk to me, but I don't think I'll be able to see with my own eyes while I'm doing it. I think that my eyes will be like I'm at the other perspective. So, but I can hear you and we can still talk and things. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to draw some attention, just so
oh,
you know.
yeah, no, that's right. It's really loud. Don't do that. Do just like a bolt thing. I just need a visual cue to kind of get my bearings of where we are. So less loud stuff, probably.
I mean, if I just, a little ball of fire appears in his hand, would this be enough from this rooftop, or do you need...
I think so. I mean, because of this, she taps the thing on her head. This stupid thing, I can see pretty much anything. So I guess a small flame might be enough. I'll let you know. We'll talk.
All right.
And they start with the little flame that Casey has, and after she's cast the spell, depending on what she needs, if she can't find it, she may escalate to bigger, louder stuff.
Yeah, as you finish the spell, there's a sort of a disorienting feeling, and then as though you are a bird, you're way in the air above the town. You can see the great sheared cliff that runs north to south through the town, and it just stretches off for so far in every direction. You can see that there are sections of entire mountain that have fallen off along the ridgeline. You can see the water of the waterfall pouring down, and there's still some clouds of dust that are still settling. The first thing that catches your eye, though, as you begin to even scan to look for the small flame that Casey is holding, are fires that are smoldering near the conjunction of all of the railroad lines that meet near the center of the town. You can see that there are a couple of small fires burning there. You're still pretty far away, but focusing maybe your attention there for just a moment, you can see a shift in the white, like the gray round shape, just barely pick it out from the snow of what seems to be that large undead armored creature there, near where those flames are burning. After a moment, though, roll, in terms of finding that small fire that Casey is holding, roll a perception check. I think like a small fire during the day is going to be like a DC 20. Oh, there you go. So, yeah, you feel still back in your body. You feel the slight weight of that tiara on your forehead, and you pick it out. Vision's so clear there in the distance, a small flame on a rooftop, and you can actually make out. Wait, is that what your hair looks like?
Oh man, sometimes you can see too well. All right, cool. Casey, that was perfect. I can see us. It's kind of weird. Like, I can see us.
I mean, yeah, I can too.
Well, yeah, but like I'm seeing it. Oh, but well, never mind. All right.
Actually, with a natural 20, I'm going to give you some more.
Ooh.
As you're kind of swiveling and getting used to that feeling of focusing your vision, you realize back at that town square, you can see some like lines and circles of red. And you realize through the dust and the smoke, you pick out a figure. It's tall and skeletal, and it's working on something in that circle, and it's green. There's like a small light. You can't tell exactly what, but it's doing something.
She repeats all of that to Casey, pretty much in the exact same way that you just described it.
I mean, it sounds like it's hexing us.
Maybe, I don't know. I can't quite make it out, but all right, I only have so much time for this. All right, and she starts to, with her hand and the paper on there, she sort of marks in the area of the paper, where they currently are, and from there just starts to try to sketch out, the pathways in broad strokes. Some highlights of like major buildings, major roads, and she's doing it pretty fast, so it's kind of messy, but she's just trying to get the big stuff down. Again, focused on trying to find a pathway and maybe one alternative to going towards this thing. If she gets done after she's maybe 9 minutes into it or getting close to time, if she feels like she's probably done it as best she can, she might look back towards the skeletal thing one last time and just like really try to focus her attention on it, just to try to see if she can see any last details. I'm not asking you to give me more, I'm just letting you know what she does.
Sure. Yeah, so though your vision is looking through this perspective in the sky, you can feel your hand dragging a bit of charcoal, or a bit of whatever.
Charcoal's actually makes sense.
Yeah, charcoal on this parchment beneath your hand. You can't see what you're doing, but you're following what you're doing kind of with your eyes. After you feel pretty confident you're getting close. I mean, there's got to be less than a minute left. There has to be. You kind of look back towards the train yard. You can see all the converging railways. You can see that, of course, everything going to the west has been completely split by the earthquake. But you can also see breaks in the tracks in several places and see that it's damaged. You see two large cranes in that train yard, and each crane seems to be holding pallets of something heavy. It must be lumber based on the color of it. You can see the shifting of zombies from so far below as they move in the streets. Occasionally you see like the leap of one of those larger builders or lumberjacks leap over a building here or there. But they're pretty scattered throughout the town. It's almost as though they're searching for something. I'm not sure. I think you're doing that as you feel the magic beginning to ebb, and you realize you've only got a few seconds left. Oh, one thing I should point out. Oh, sorry. I think while you're in this mode of perception, you do feel pretty confident. Okay, if we head west, but then we veer down to the south and then wind our way up from the south, approaching the train yard from the south, that would avoid so much more. That'll avoid most of it.
Okay. With the seconds that she has left, she gets curious, realizing she's probably caught everything that she can, and just trying to appreciate the strangeness of this world and understanding the way in which everything seems like it can change at any point. She does something which is maybe less responsible than what her typical instinct would have been, and she switches for just a second. Her eyes come back for her, and she just is curious. What does it sound like in the sky?
Howling wind, deafening. It's overwhelming immediately.
Ah, she drops the spell. Oh, gosh, has her ears, and the piece of charcoal that she has falls out of her hands and onto the roof, and if it's steep, it probably rolls down.
Gotcha.
Ah, oh, thanks. Okay. She, also, as she was sort of sketching this stuff out, she would occasionally be speaking verbally to Casey some of the things that you told, so that both of them can hopefully, when they get back, tell other people about it. And yeah,
As you come back to yourself and you look down at this parchment you've been drawing on while looking through a different perspective, roll a performance check to see how good you did at this.
oh my god, I was guys,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
absolute disaster.
wait,
It's
wait.
like,
I'm gonna try to do slightly better than terrible. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to do better than a 2.
So, Doc, while you were drawing, it was looking really weird, so I kind of like helped your hand.
All right, hold on. I'll use one constellation to try to get something that is in any way usable, or one, which will be more comical.
sure.
All right, so one constellation point to try to re-roll this thing that I'm terrible at and probably won't be any better. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so it vaguely, at least the directions are right. At least there's at least a directional relationship between the objects. Distance, absolute nonsense.
Ava, seeing it, thinks of it as a masterpiece and is like, yes! Nailed it.
So now we just have to run across the roof's back, yeah?
Ah, crap. Yeah, I forgot about that part. She carefully kind of rolls the thing back up and is like, honestly, thank you for... Oh. Chris, do you want me to roll with advantage or disadvantage? Because Casey did help me. Do you want me to roll with disadvantage? Not to fuck myself over, but I mean...
Oh, so you can help with like short things, like a minute long time. Like you can't.
Well, I know that, but I don't know if Casey does. No, that's fine. All right, it's 14. So she rolls it up carefully and preps herself, gets a breath, and then follows Casey back.
I mean, if you fall short, just grab onto this.
And she realizes she should probably stop wearing it around her neck. Just joking. All right, yeah. Just once she gets back, she shares everything with everybody else so that they have an idea of where they want to try to go to get to the place they want to try to get to.
Yeah, when they get back in, Casey said, Doc found the person that's hexing us.
I didn't say I found the person that was hexing us. I didn't say if they were hexing us, but I did.
Yeah, it's some tall skeleton-looking thing.
Yeah,
that way.
That part's true.
So, a tall skeleton creature in the center of town.
Yeah, right about here on the map, Casey points to a spot, turns the map completely upside down, points to another spot. Here, right about here.
And you think that this is the creature that's hexing us and not the one that's been fabricating all of the strong undead creatures that we've been fighting recently?
I mean, it can do two things. No, Doc's pretty sure of it.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, I'm still not fully convinced that we're being hexed by a specific entity necessarily, but okay, but at the very least we have some kind of visual as to what our potential target of the undead fabricator looks like.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna get ready to move. I mean, you guys might already be set up, but I'm just gonna grab the rest of my stuff or whatever. I'm kind of hungry, but I'm also kind of not hungry, because she's perspiring probably significantly more than what Casey was. And she'll just get her stuff ready and follow whatever else anyone wants to do.
DM, how long were they gone for?
Probably. I'll say half an hour.
just retroactively, can we say that Esmond has been sketching out blueprints for a new prosthetic for his hand since they've been gone?
I think you started it, but you got interrupted as you heard the sound of Peach's footsteps approaching.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Oh, hey, Peach. You all right?
Yeah, hi, Ez. She steps into the room and kind of keeps one of her arms behind the door slightly. She goes, "So, Vithedron's gun, the rifle that you gave me, I'm realizing that I don't know how to use that at all in any useful way. And I asked Salinger if he wanted to switch with me because he got the pistol, which I thought was more of a point shoot, but he thought he liked the aesthetics of the pistol better. So I'm hoping maybe you could show me how to use this because Vithedron was a good shot. You know, it took him a long time to get that aim sometimes, but I don't want to be aiming for something and hit one of you all that's close by accident. I want to make sure if I've got this kind of firepower that I know how to aim it right. Can you show me how to use it?
Yeah, I was planning to at some point, anyways. But we probably got some a bit longer before Doc and O get back. So yeah, let's head outside and we'll go over that. And Esmond will kind of lead the way and not walk too far away from the tavern, but just a place clear with clear open space.
As you go out the door, Kabath is eating another bowl of soup, and she's like, "Shout if you got trouble!"
Can do. Thanks for the heads up. When they reach a space, Esmond will kind of when they're like 20, 30, 40 feet away from the tavern, just like, all right, let's just take a seat here in the middle of the road. Okay, so the rifle is not necessarily complicated to use, but it can be tricky in its operation and misfiring, in which case you have to fix it, and that's where a lot of the issues can come in. But for now, I just want to focus on showing you how to actually fire the weapon. So Esmond takes it and really smoothly kind of goes through the motions of like cleaning it, checking it to make sure that's not loaded before shutting everything back, and then handing it to you. Okay, so the gist of it is that, hey, how much do you recall of Gilgain's physics lessons?
Body motion stays in motion. And we're all attracted to each other a little bit.
Okay, so that's, yeah, right. Okay, so I do math in my mind to calculate where to aim. We'll figure out something else better for you. It's you'll.
I can. I can't figure math in my head necessarily, but I'm not. Oh, the other day,
But
folks said,
you can read creatures. You can read their motions on where they're moving to, and that's what you should focus on. Because this is a scoped weapon. You're going to be seeing things much closer, which means that you have to spend a little longer in aiming and focusing on where your target is going to be. Whereas if you don't do that, you're most likely going to miss your target. You'll essentially be firing from the hip, which is not going to be as effective, or at the very least, it's not what this weapon is meant to be used for.
that's not safe either. Half the time, Quebec or Salinger's wrestling with whatever thing I'd want to hit.
Correct, which is why you're gonna want to take your time and be able to focus on what you're looking to hit. So, Esmond will quickly like hold the rifle up to his shoulder, just kind of show you what the appropriate ways of like holding it and against yourself for, and then kind of hand it back to you and walk you through how the best motions of like getting yourself situated, the best positions for like taking aim and firing stuff, and kind of like move your shoulders, your elbows into place, just kind of like guiding you slowly through how to use this weapon. The main bitch of it all is that this thing will have a kick, and there's nothing I can do about that. And I don't want to practice actually using. I don't want to practice using actual bullets, so we'll have to. I'm gonna have to make some more at some point, but I don't want to draw anything towards us. And I don't want to waste any of the little ammunition that we do currently have. So we will go over proper lessons on actually firing the weapon at some point.
Well, at least help me get ready for the kick. Give me like a shove or something. How much are we talking? Is it gonna knock me on my ass? Am I gonna fall over or?
No, not if you position yourself correctly. Remember, you're going to want to lean forward as you prepare to fire, and you're going to want to brace your shoulder against the butt of the rifle, and it's gonna bruise. There's no getting around that. It's gonna be uncomfortable for a little bit of time, but as you continue to fire it, you'll get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about the bruise. I just don't want to be knocked out of commission or anything.
Well, it won't knock you out of commission unless the gun explodes in your hand, but even then...
Wait, gun explode? I thought this was one of those, nicely issued, professionally done rifles that... This ain't gonna explode, is it?
Chances are very slim that it would.
Okay. And
it's a better chance that it won't explode as opposed to mine, which has a higher chance considering that I made it in 2 weeks in my workshop. So take your pick. Which one do you want?
I'll stick with the with Edrin's gun. But hey, when we get back to Shep's End, you got to teach me how to properly sharpshoot. Like we could do like I don't know, the sort of thing we used to do on 90 days where we could do like fun things.
I imagine by the time we get back to Shepherd's End, you will be a better shot with this thing than I could ever hope to be. So, in the meantime, Esmond's going to reach into his satchel and hold out to you 5 arcane bullets. Keep these on your person. Keep one loaded in the barrel at all times that you're not using it, so you don't have to load it at the time that we fall into combat. But keep the safety on when you're not using it. And let's test your foundation. I'm not going to punch you, but I'm going to try and give you an idea of like what kind of impact you can expect from this thing.
Peach nods and braces herself in the stance that Ez has shown her.
And the two of them will go over this for a little bit of time.
We fade out, yay. I got what I wanted from the scene, thank you.
Yeah.
Peach has learned skill, gun craft.
Learned gun.
Pete has an excuse of character. Pete has learned gun.
Yeah, not too long later, everyone is back together in the tavern.
So are we going after this skeleton thing?
I think that we should be heading west first to see what that flare was, see if there are any survivors. Doc mapped everything out, so it should be a relatively quick and safe journey to get there, right?
I thought the flares, out of character, I thought the flares came from the same direction as the tracks. Like the what area? Okay. Yeah, no, well, the flare, I think, is the same place, so we were able to do both. And I think it was maybe a battle or something. Like, it looked like there were, I don't know, signs of some red stuff on the snow, maybe? I don't know. I guess we'll know when we get closer.
Wait, sorry, I'm confused. Out of character. I thought that the symbols and the skeletal creature were found closer to the center of town as opposed to the train yard, which is more western direction.
Sorry, the conceptual center of town. It is physically slightly north.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, so, I mean, is everyone good with trying to just check that out, I guess? Maybe try to fix whatever's broken here?
How many things did you see in the way or on the way?
Yeah, well, this is where this. She was unrolling, pointing at the map that she's so proud of. This is where this near perfect map, aside from potentially the distances, comes in handy. And she'll just point out the path that she thinks they can take and some of the landmarks along the way. So if we follow that, we should be able to avoid a lot of the worst of it. And I think if Seifert can make us go quiet and we maybe have a little bit of luck, then we can go, probably be there in like an hour.
How quiet do we need to be? Because Beth looks down at her plate armor.
Well, just, I mean, the little zombies seem like they are kind of slow and like don't pay attention much, but I saw some of the big ones and they look like they were searching for stuff, and they were kind of like just going one like roof to the other, kind of one street to the other, just jumping from place to place. But I guess real quiet.
Well, if I'm the only one making noise, I can run ahead, and then they can trail behind me, and then you can kill the slowest ones first.
She just looks around to see if anyone else.
It's not a bad idea. Rhea, how long would it take you to purify a creature?
I don't. Okay, so let me just clarify.
Like 10 minutes?
No, I think that
3?
you're overestimating by no
1?
Oh.
I mean, you could probably do it in 1, huh?
No, I think longer, but also maybe not at all.
What if we held it still for you? Would that make it easier?
What?
Just knock it down. The big skeleton they were describing.
Yeah.
Well, I feel that I was able to purify a thing when it was a skeleton and dead. Yes. No, but it was more the water, and then the skeleton that was mad was
because
kind of.
skeletons are dry. There's no liquid for you to purify.
What if we poured water over the skeleton?
I mean, we could kill it first.
Why don't we just
So
kill
water
it?
is-
Just bring it down entirely.
Yeah, and then I'll purify it so it doesn't hurt anything. Or I could purify the whole time. So the sacrificial victim down the well was not an inanimate skeleton. It was very mad I was there. So you might be right. I might be able to help. I just don't think that I just don't have this much confidence in me.
Wait, I thought the whole purpose of this was to go after the one that is raising these zombies and creating all of this poisoning that the well is not the big skeleton creature, right?
Yeah, the one who's causing the problems, and I don't think I can purify them. I can pray for them.
I mean, I'm sure you can, but yeah, we can't go after the big guy if this skeleton is hexing us the whole time?
It's hexing us.
We don't know
The
that.
skeleton? You know, well, no.
I mean, the skeleton, even before it was, I guess, killed by whatever this necromancer thing is, it seemed pretty content to just sit in the train yard, right? So I don't feel like it's the threat to Shepherd's End. The threat is actually the necromancer.
Correct, but if this creature is the undead fabricator that has been the one that's been making all these lumberjacks, the cubes, the giant armored thing in the center of town, if that's been what's been granting these boons to all these undead monstrosities, if we take that down, all those boons disappear.
Right, but I thought that big skeleton thing was just like a big dumb animal, like the Autonomous. Is it that's the necromancer, the
You guys are
fabricator?
describing two different things. There's the armored large beast there, but Ava also saw a skeletal figure that was working on something, doing some sort of project in the town
Okay.
square at the train yard.
I will just say that Charlotte misunderstood this too, and so she's like, also, it's very weird that this armored thing would turn into a skeleton. I mean, what happened to its armor?
Everybody's got to come out of their shell sometime. But I think it's two different things. I think we could get that armored turtle guy on our side. We just need a ray to purify it, you know.
I will try anything to help. Yes, and I think it's worth trying. And it's only 10 minutes, maybe less or more. How long did it
3.
take me down when I was in the well?
Like 3.5.
We can't rely on Araya potentially being able to cleanse this thing, purify it.
Also true.
It's entirely possible, yeah, but we're walking into potentially a death zone here where we're going to be fighting for our lives instead when we don't have time to purify anything, or if this thing can even be purified. It's this, if this is the undead fabricator that has been boosting, granting power to everything that we've been fighting, it could be much stronger than anything that we've come across up till now.
All the more reason we need to destroy it.
I agree. We just have to be, if that's the direction that we're headed, if that's what we've been communicating with these flares, we just, regardless of what we're about to do, if we're heading anywhere even close to it, we just need to be very discreet and very careful.
Okay, just something I thought about. Yes, I agree with what you said, and we can do that. But maybe when we get closer and we learn a little bit more, maybe, like Shalati or whoever can maybe pick up on some tracks, because like it definitely seemed like something was trying to fight the stuff in there, and if there are survivors, hopefully there are survivors, but if there are, and I know this is all speculative, but like maybe they could help or tell us some stuff, or maybe we could help them.
I can definitely keep an eye out. I am kind of wondering, Kibeth, if you are noisy, wouldn't it be better for you to go behind us so that if something does get attracted to you, we would maybe see it and we could ambush it on its way to you? I guess unless maybe it's, hits you from behind on the opposite of where we are.
Yeah, if it's behind me, then you guys won't see it coming in. I won't see it coming, and I'll be so noisy that you won't hear it coming. So then, if I disappear, you'll just stop hearing noise behind you, and then you'll know something's wrong. But I feel like if I walk in the front because I'm faster, then you have a better chance of hearing something coming up behind us that is hearing noise.
Well, let's just stick together. I think if we can help you be quiet, like we'll just move slow from like one place to another, and like we can help. Because with Seyfried's thing, everybody can be pretty quiet.
Maybe we can tie some clothes around your hooves. so that you don't clup.
I mean, it's I have boots on, so that's not the problem. She points to the boots. I was bringing in striding, but no, it's just the, and she like goes ding ding, and she taps the plate armor on her chest.
What if we like swaddle you like a baby, and then Salinger carries you?
Chris, will that negate the disadvantaged rolls I get for stealth if we swaddle it? It will just be regular stealth rolls.
It would still take 10 minutes to unwrap you.
He'll just be clinking and clattering in his arms.
Yeah, that's a nice idea. I have a feeling that there's not much you can do about that. I just have to design better armor when I get back home.
Well, I'm not entirely sure which one we're going at, but as long as I hope it is the one that is behind all these issues, then I'm ready to go.
Okay. And yeah, let's definitely stick together just because Kibeth, like, not to say much, but like the last time we encountered stuff, they kind of jumped all over you. And I think that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the sticking together was never a question. It's, do you want me to stick together with you in the front of the pack, or in the back of the pack, or off to the side, or kind of in the middle?
Middle.
Are you sure?
No.
She kind of looks around at everyone else. I think I should walk in the front.
Middle.
Okay, middle it is. Anybody else?
Just be small.
Well, that's just no fun, sure.
Not smaller than normal or anything.
I don't think I can get smaller than my normal. I can only get big and then back to this size. There's no down.
Just be a little gal. Just a wee little gal.
I mean, I could make you smaller.
Oh, could you put me in your pocket? I want to ride in a pocket.
Ava tries very hard to estimate Kibeth's size and imagining 1/8 of that size, and then the dimensions of pocket to figure out whether or not she would fit in one.
No.
Should be about the size of a halfling. You know what a halfling looks like.
You'd be small enough for Sal to carry.
Oh, would I make less noise then?
No.
It'd be a high-pitched noise, probably the same volume.
But if the noise is
Like
made
smaller
by...
xylophone.
All right, I'll just walk in the middle. It's fine. But we'll try that another day.
It would be adorable though.
I want
I'm
to
just
do
throwing
that,
that out there.
but not today.
Let's grow.
Out of character, are we going to talk about swaddling someone every single session?
Yes.
Is a
Good call.
Okay, so you guys begin to prepare and pack up your stuff. Anything special I need to know? Any preparations before you leave?
I'm wearing my armor.
Good choice.
I had an idea that I want to try, but I would have liked to have tested it out a little bit this morning with Poppy first. That's okay.
What's on your mind?
I know slashing and piercing is bad juju against these monsters. I thought that I might mount a mace-like housing around one of her feet and on the edge of her tail so she could bludgeon. I would try both and see which one is even remotely effective.
I could have helped him with that when Peach and Ez were out doing gun practice.
Yeah, I think the intuitive nature of Poppy's fighting would probably make that not work very well.
Yet, but like I could table that for training in the future, maybe.
Just teach her how to curl up her feet to do like boxing feet.
Yeah, I basically want her to do what I'm just going to teach her Muay Thai knees. Those are still bludgeoning.
Yeah, maybe you can work on a headbutt.
Okay, I like that. Like make a helm. We'll talk about a helm later.
I would love to engineer like a tail whip mace kind of thing.
Quick question about heavy weapons. They give disadvantage on stealth. If you have heavy weapons and heavy armor, or multiple heavy weapons, does that disadvantage stack, or is it just one instance for you're carrying multiple heavy things?
Probably should stack, but we'll just make it an overall qualifier of heavy armor or a heavy weapon. We'll just give disadvantage.
As we are prepping to leave, Esmond will cast Gift of Alacrity. Take a minute, right, like as we're walking out the door. Gift of Alacrity on Kibeth.
Cypher's planning on doing stuff too.
Okay. Let's take a 5-minute break. I'm going to give you guys those items that you found, and you can just really quickly decide kind of where they go. Okay, I've pasted some items into the item change log. I'm going to go ahead and just read these off so we have it in the recording. One of the items is the Ring of the Courier. While you're wearing this ring, then you do have to attune to all of these to use them. While wearing this ring, you may cast Long Strider at 2nd level without the need for material components. Once you use this ability once, you cannot use it again until you complete a long rest. There's also the Tumbler's Band, which is a bracelet. Wearing this bracelet, you gain resistance to non-magical bludgeoning damage and falling damage. And then the Bread Baker's Bounty. While wearing this necklace, you may cast Burning Hands without the need for material components. You can do this twice. Complete long rest. I'll pause again. You guys can just... Items jingle on the table before you.
I am your benevolent god, and I toss everything out into the air. No, Esmond will throw everything down, and we'll have a quick discussion as to what would benefit who, and then items are handed out accordingly.
That suffices as a description.
I want to go, Chris. Let's fucking go. Let's get out of here.
Okay. Soon you've packed up all your shit. You're on the road, I guess.
And the role play happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cypher, show me how you do that thing where you, make everyone sneaky.
Oh yeah, it's easy. My uncle showed me how to do it. She takes out like a leaf. It varies, but she brings out like a little sprig, and sort of she cups her other hand around it, which I cannot pantomime, and blows on it softly as if it's on fire, and it begins to smoke like incense. And then she kind of just like quickly hops around, waving the like smoke around everybody in the area. And then she sort of like crushes it to snuff it back out, stuffs it back in her pocket. That's it. It seems to work.
Okay. Yeah, Casey watched intently as Cypher went through these motions. All right, yeah. No, I think I got it.
Charlotte is saddling up to. So, do we all drop the tied scarves once we were all awakened in a group?
When we're in a group, we tie them all together.
Yeah, I think we kind of have to.
She saddles up to Ava and says, "Do you think it would be better if I'm carrying something this long that always gets in the way and I sort of trip over it and makes me not as quiet? Do you think it's better to be quiet or to be ready to fight?"
Be quiet. Hopefully we won't have to fight. And most of the time when we do, well, the only time we've really been caught off guard is when we were asleep. So, I mean, hopefully there'll be enough time to get ready to fight.
Peach? Can I stick this in your bag?
Yeah, I've got room.
Just gonna wander over to give the halberd to Peach. If we run into anything, though, I'll walk with you so that if something comes at us, hopefully you can pull it out quickly before it reaches us and give it to me.
Sure, we can be scarf buddies if we're still doing that.
Oh, but I don't want to abandon Ava. Well, there's an uneven number, so maybe it'll just be us three.
Yeah, when you first suggested that, there was a horrified and jealous look on Ava's face for just a moment.
Best friend drama.
How does
Just how
Sounder
could you-
react?
Oh, he doesn't. Ooh,
Oh.
so cold.
Fine, Peach unties that scarf.
You found a baby.
Oh, God.
So, are you guys traveling all tied together? Is that what...
No,
Absolutely not.
If we're together,
In
we're
a big
together.
chain with loops, like toddlers that are going to the park. All of them tied together.
Chris, do we know
We're-
about how far we have to travel to get towards where we think the stuff is happening?
About 45 minutes?
Okay. When we get close, I'm gonna do something.
Cool. Sounds good.
No,
Alright.
Chris, we're not traveling like a kindergarten chain gang.
It's a shame.
I love it though.
All right. You've departed now the tavern, heading out into the snow amid an overcast day. Heading west toward the last place you heard the sounds of combat and also where Ava had spotted strange happenings at the crossroads, the train yard of Merewood. It doesn't take long at all before you begin to encounter a few of the zombies lumbering in the alleyways, sparsely distributed through the streets. They look your way as you pass, growl, and begin to lumber toward you, but all it really takes is turning a corner before they seem to lose interest in that you were there at all. But as you move through these streets carefully, amongst all the debris, collapsed buildings, there is a moment when you're able to... it looks as though a taller building had partially collapsed and one of the mills has fallen across the river. That allows you to cross the river to the south, and moving across the unstable wood, but getting across it without terrible incident. However, it's as you are kind of bending your way to the west to approach the train road from the south, you hear an impact sound, and you see landing on a rooftop that partially collapses one of the chimneys. One of those larger builders, muscled, covered in black, carved black runes in its skin, and it seems to look around like everyone to roll a stealth check, please.
Did we get the plus 10 for whatever it was?
Mm-hmm. You have a plus 10 from Seyfried's Pass Without Trace.
So that's 31 for me.
Nice.
Kibeth is invisible.
Wow.
Sorry, I just shut down Roll20. It was killing my computer.
Typhon! Why do we even take him out of his
Why?
cave?
Why do you... Desmond, we're done. I'm sorry. You've tried it over and over again. It just isn't working.
Oh, no. I got the good roll. I took it from poor Kevin. Sorry, Kevin.
Would anyone
What
be...
is Typhon?
He's
the
the weak
robot.
link. That's what he is.
I think that Zen actually hasn't been around enough to know who Typhon is.
Typhon is a
Piece of
little
shit.
automaton, vaguely in the shape of a goblin, that was crafted by your friend Desmond.
With great care, apparently.
Is
It's a
that
ventriloquist dummy that does nothing but fall over.
Is that one going to stand, or would someone be interested in using a point of destiny to make that not happen?
I only have my
I'll
one.
spend one. I'll spend one. I have. Please, anything but a 1.
So 15.
Much better.
Okay, so what is our lowest roll?
it's the
Probably
15.
15.
The 15.
It's the 15, yes.
Actually, at a 14.
Well,
No, it's
the
plus
lowest.
10.
This is 24. Typhon didn't get the +10.
He did, and he got 15 with it.
Oh,
does,
God,
but
Typhon.
Yes.
No.
It's better than 11.
Yeah, as you move along the street, you see the thing up there, and Typhon kind of...
My fucking...
The creature kind of vaguely looks that direction for a second. Typhon's in the shadow of a building. The giant undead builder leaps on, going the other direction. 15 was enough.
Rhea, can you cast silence so we can take this thing apart?
Is Typhon useful?
Yes.
Yeah, he actually can be. He's just also
In
fragile.
what way?
In a way that prevents me from dying.
Not getting caught out in the middle of the street prevents you from dying.
To that end, Kabath grabs Ez's hand and says, Ez, that was close. I have something for you. And she puts into your palm one of the platinum rings. She says, put this on. Trust me.
Esmond slides it onto his finger, yeah.
Gotcha, you're married.
I'm just kidding. No.
Correct.
I am going to cast a spell. Hold on.
She activates her trap spell.
Esmond doesn't wear jewelry. I guess he would put it on his middle finger, his left middle finger.
A missing one?
No, it's that he's missing his right middle finger.
You, as Kabath is holding your hand, you feel her hand kind of warm up, not unpleasantly, but warm, and you feel warmth pass from her into you. And as she pulls her hand away, you see a fine thread for just a moment, like a glowing thread, like a filament. And she whispers something and kind of waves her hand, and this thread wraps around her wrist and around yours, and then the glow disappears, and you can't see it anymore, but you feel something between you two. Just, this won't last forever, but if we get into trouble, it might help you out. And I'll tell you when it becomes relevant.
That's a terrible vow.
Doc pact.
I'm not a warlock this time, you guys.
Yeah, and Rhea's not evil. We know people have a type.
I mean, we
I'm
don't
joking,
know
Jess.
Kabath is a warlock, but like all of the players saw you talk to that fire that one time.
They didn't.
They didn't.
All
No,
of the
it's us.
players, none of us, none
Oh,
of the
yeah.
characters, the players, out of character.
We never sacrificed blood and cookies to the fire.
Exactly,
love-
not to Peach's knowledge.
Esmond will let the feeling sink in, take a moment to get used to it, and just kind of look back to you and say, "All right, you've got my back, I've got yours. Thanks."
She nods.
Casey will also approach Ez and clasp hands with him. And when he pulls his hand away, and Esmond has something in his hand, he says, "That might help with Typhon." You get a flask of oil.
The moment that Typhon made any noise, Esmond absolutely blushed as vibrantly as he possibly could. I'm so upset.
He's kind of squeaky.
Yeah, I know.
This isn't canon, but under her breath, she's like, no wonder that Netherine died.
My God, when is Ava gonna drop her like savage album? That girl is full of teen angst.
No, she didn't say that. Just a joke.
She definitely needs to put out an album of diss tracks.
Yes, it has to counter the show tunes that Peach and Casey produce, where it's not gossip if it's good about your friends.
DM, I'm going to as we're kind of stopped in this alley for a moment, I'm going to have Zephyrus fly below the rooftops of the alleys and streets that they're on, but fly about 50 feet ahead of us to try and relay anything that he comes across to me, so that I can relay that back to the group.
So after the giant undead builders moved on, you guys continue along the road, stucking through an alley, curving up toward the north. Before too long, with Zephyrus up ahead of you, kind of making sure there are no unexpected creatures waiting for you in those tight alleyways, you begin to approach the train yard from the south, remembering still what Ava had described on the very accurate map that she had drawn. So I'm going to move you guys to a different map in Roll20. It might take a second to load. Give it a second and hopefully it works.
It gave me a graphics performance notification.
Oh yeah. The page you're trying to load contains dynamic lighting, which your device does not support. Which does seem weird, because I feel like I've used dynamic lighting on this computer, but maybe I'm misremembering.
I can disable it if it just doesn't work.
Oh, for some reason now it's working.
Yeah, I see a dark hallway. All of a sudden, Typhon's right beside me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I also see a dark hallway.
Okay, everyone just try to move your character one square to the south and just make sure they move and it works.
I see a
Worked for
dark
me.
hallway, but I have to zoom in.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds like it's working. All right, so you are currently in alleyways, crumbling buildings, approaching from the south. You know that at the center of the train yard, and I'm assuming that, I'm hoping the way this works is you guys can see large portions of the map as though you have previously explored it.
Yeah, but Fog of War is still over it.
Good, perfect.
Wait, what?
What? I only see mostly black with just a little view of a hallway.
Same,
Yeah,
I
I
see
see
very
almost
little.
nothing.
There's a lot of fog of
Interesting.
war.
And if you don't zoom out at all, you can't see the map if you zoom out.
No, it's
No.
pitch black.
No.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess it didn't work the way that. But Patrick, you can see it.
Yeah, my camera don't work, but my Roll20 is just fine.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
is it because certain characters don't have dark vision?
No, what happened was it was Isaac and Ava, anyway, Isaac and Patrick who were actually in Roll20 when I moved all the characters around to do the exploration. So they were it explored probably in their cache and not in yours, I assume.
Can they just move to
I'm gonna try something.
I posted in GIF. You can kind of see what I see.
Yeah, it looks nothing like that.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Oh wow, Isaac, you can see even more than I can.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can't see anything like that. I can't even see that room to the right.
Sec.
I mean, Casey's
Yeah.
eyesight is legendary.
I'm gonna move things. Give me 1 second.
I'm flying.
Okay, that should have updated to give you much more information about, not perfect information, but much more information.
Oh, that's cool. So this is our hazy memory of the location.
Oh, I like it. That's a really cool effect. Also, good job, Ava. This is an excellent map.
Handicrafted.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but as you begin to approach quietly in those tight alleyways to the south, you know that not far beyond, farther to the north, is the beast that Jorn and Bog had described, the fabricator, potentially even more zombies.
Well, Casey,
Yeah.
or Seifrid, or we're pretty close. I remember some of these places, like, it should be, like, right around the corner. So, like, I don't know, check it out or something?
Well, we need to find the fabricator specifically, alright? Are they here? Still here? Shall we all go in a pack, or?
Well, maybe, but she looks at the robot.
I can send Zephyrus ahead of us a little bit and give us kind of an immediate idea of what our surroundings, of what we're walking into.
Oh, right, because he can fly up, right?
Yeah, precisely.
That sounds like a good first step. If there's anything that he can't see, then a couple of us can scout it out more thoroughly.
Oh, Charlotte, like, I forget who had suggested this, but Charlotte would have been keeping her eyes open on the way there to see if she saw tracks, humanoid tracks that didn't suggest zombie shuffle steps or, giant lumberjack feet. Survivors, basically.
Yeah, roll survival. You did catch some footprints in the snow. Based on how much snow had covered it up, you would have guessed sometime in maybe the last. Oh no, did I freeze? I freeze, didn't I? Yeah, sometime in the last day or two for sure.
Yes.
We'll never find out the fate of these survivors.
Sometime in the last day or two or so, someone definitely has been moving at an urgent pace, sort of in this area. You also find a smear of blood on one of the walls, and this looks certainly in the last few days as well.
Is this in this area that we're at, or is it
Yeah, nearby.
Charlotte, like, taps the nearest person on the shoulder, which is probably feet. They're not shuffling like the zombies are. It's maybe there was some snow a few days ago, so it must be within the last day or two.
Should we check out what's here, or just start to follow the tracks first?
I mean, if there's someone injured with, the blood and... Shalati said that was a living person. Or a living something. We should investigate it.
These tracks first.
Let's scout with Zephyrus.
And the tracks that you found do actually go north from where you are.
Oh man, this is good. This is wild.
I'm gonna
What's
let's take a quick pause. I'm gonna reset
Yeah.
my router. Hold back. Make sure everything's working. Seems to be. Alright, well, I made this map and dungeon draft painstakingly. Hopefully it's It's fun. What did I say last?
Something about the tracks.
Yeah, the tracks, the blood, the direction.
Yeah, you find.
Yeah. It looks as though. Yeah, it looks as though the blood smear and the tracks that you found that look like urgently moving survivors actually lead northward. Right now.
So through the square that we're sort of close to.
Looks that way, yeah. The train yard.
Okay, noting that Esmond is going to call Zephyrus to him, just kind of hold him tight and just whisper to him as he's cupped in his hands. Pull a small bottle of honeyed water. Lets him take a few sips, and will place a shoulder onto whoever's place his hand onto shoulder to whoever's standing near him, and then will go into Zephyrus's vision.
All right. And then very slowly, just 5 feet at a time, begin to explore where Zephyrus would explore, and I'll tell you when to stop. As you cross over into that room, through Zephyrus's eyes, you see a gargantuan sight. Please roll a stealth roll for Zephyrus.
$19.
There's a bit of stirring from an enormous creature. There's a bit of scraping. It sounds like stone on stone that all of you hear. But moving closer on that side of the building, Zephyrus can hear a larger, labored, wet breathing from the creature.
Esmond's eyes are clouded over, and back in the alleyway, everyone, whoever is immediately near him, just hears a very hushed, "Oh, shit, that's big."
It's probably only big compared to Zephyrus.
Nope, it's not. And I'll keep moving Zephyrus. Do I see any additional of those bloody tracks that Shalati had pointed out?
Well, I think more distinctly, as you kind of pull around that corner, you can see some debris that's on fire, smoke rising. You see scattered weapons, kind of just dotted throughout the train yard, scorch marks, scuffles sort of in the dirt. You see some splatters of blood. There was definitely some kind of battle here.
If it's something big, we can just leave, right? We can go somewhere else. Run away.
Yes.
Anyone, by the way.
Yeah, I'm back. Zephyrus moves up. You do see beyond that large creature, you see a slight red glow, and you see a skeletal figure, robed. It's working on something. You see... Wait. Oh no, that's the other half. It's doing something to it.
The other half?
Oh, I found where the other half of that gelatinous cube monster went. Oh, shit. Oh, that Doc, that skeletal thing that you noted is performing some kind of ritual on that monster cube.
A ritual?
Just as soon as Esmond says that, but back down at the back of everyone else, there's a slight shambling sound to your left. You see it undead townsfolk come meandering out of the corner there, and it looks at the group of you and it's reacting really slowly, but it's fixed onto you.
Can Charlotte stride over, grab it, and pound it into the wall?
You certainly can. Go ahead, and you see it beginning to. It's moving and reacting slower than you've seen them do before, but you see it do the same thing the other ones do. It's starting to open its mouth. It's starting to point. So go ahead and do what you're going to do.
Is this so? I think she wants to like grab it and cover its mouth. Would that be anything special?
Okay, yeah, we'll do that as like an opposed check. I think trying to specifically cover its mouth, you'll have to roll with a layer of disadvantage.
Okay. And what opposed check would that be?
It'll choose dexterity or strength, but you'll need to use strength.
Okay, so just straight up strength, not athletics.
Well, athletics, I mean. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh, no, I'm re-rolling that. Thank you. Yeah, I think I'll take the 25.
Yeah, I think your 25 certainly succeed over its 13. Yeah, so just tell me stories. You gain control of this thing, covering its mouth.
So she first moves to slap a hand over its mouth, and then she just keeps moving, driving it up against the wall and continuing to push until the back of its skull cracks and it goes limp.
As you're pressing it back into the wall, you can feel its sort of dead, cold tongue licking your palm and its teeth trying to bite into your flesh, but it can't, can't quite
That's what
get
I
a
have
hold.
magical gloves for.
And then, before too long, it goes down. As you do this, make another stealth roll for me, please. Oh, not a sound.
If the skeleton is casting something, we need to stop it. Silence it.
As all that was happening, Esmond continues relaying information as he sees it. I see one powered up lumberjack giant undead creature. There is the cube that's having a ritual performed on it. There's the very big undead skeletal creature performing the ritual on the cube, and then there's the gargantuan armored being. I can't make out much more than that at the moment. That's all I can see right now. DM, am I able to see if the skeletal creature is a fabricator, an undead fabricator? Can I make out that specific detail?
The robes are so covered in grime, but you can make out the subtle patterns of the similar fabricator robes as you had seen in Shepherd's End. This has to be him.
This thing, it performing the ritual. It is the undead fabricator.
AC not getting a response from Esmond. Speaks in Ignat. And it kind of rumbles out. And Esmond, you hear him this time. Are we taking these guys? Or are we moving on? Make the call.
Roll an Arcana check, husband.
low roll. Sorry, 21.
Yeah, as you see the fabricator doing whatever it's doing to that shape, that greenish glow at the center of the ritual circle, you know it's partially through some kind of ritual. You can see it getting slightly larger. You can see the runes becoming more complete. You had to guess 10 minutes, and it'll be finished doing what it's doing.
We have 10 minutes. The cube is gaining mass once more.
Who's in the mind link? Is it just Casey and Esmond?
No, I'm listing who is going to be in it.
How big? Or one of them at least?
We can't let it finish what it's doing.
Agreed. I think we have to hit now.
Wide, tall, the giant armored thing, roughly 40 feet long, maybe 20, 30 feet wide.
And that's in the mind link with, looks like it's Esmond, Doc, Seifrid, Araya, and Casey.
Yeah, and Casey will relay this information to everyone.
I can try to do something to trap it for a while.
No, what if I silence it? I can silence the whole thing. I can stop it in its tracks, and then it'll attack us.
And
But
I
it's
can
a start.
And I can hit it with fire. If we do it all at once.
All at once.
The silence is a good idea. If it's casting a spell, then it can't continue, right?
At least not in that spot.
How far away is it?
I assume all this is being transmitted back to Esmond.
Yeah, you can estimate.
We're anywhere from 120 feet away from, in our current position, we're roughly 120 feet away from the fabricator, less than 60 feet from the armored creature.
What about the cranes?
What about them?
Well, both of them were holding, like, what looked like, I think, logs. And they seem pretty big. Like, could we try to...
Those are tall enough that you saw them on the approach, and it looks like they're holding big, like, pallets of lumber.
The cranes would have to be repositioned in order for them to be effective, and somebody would have to get out there and operate them to drop them and to cause damage.
The cranes also certainly can't be moved easily, right? We would have to bring something underneath.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe get something underneath.
Well, the cranes are stationary. You climb them, and they're powered by, like, the water mills and things like that, and cables, and they can rotate and work. The cranes themselves don't move.
Right.
Esmond is going to say aloud, we can potentially maneuver into a more advantageous position. Give me a few more moments with Zephyrs. I'm going to bring him back and zip him through an alleyway. And see what that can get us.
Look for a route that brings us closer to the oh my god, wait, what's it called? The it's not artificer. What's the word for the guy? We want to get as close to the fabricator as possible from as far away from the big guy as possible. That'll buy us some time.
If we want to drop what's in that crane on the skeleton guy, just let me know. I can do it.
Roll another stealth roll for Zephyrus, please.
Yeah,
Won't
that's...
it take too long to get? I mean, if he was going to be done with his spell in 10 minutes, we got to move fast, and we might not have time, right?
How long would it take you, Casey?
What do you mean it's possible?
It's just a crane, right?
Well, yeah, it's big, but I think it's just a couple of them.
Chris, do we have anything like that in Shepherd's End?
Nothing quite to the scale like this. The concept, certainly anyone who worked near the docks at all would be familiar with. So a machine like this, you'd use some things to raise and lower boats and things for storms. This is more sophisticated, more powerful. Assuming it's all operational, it could rotate all the way around. It could lift and lower heavy objects, things like that.
Yeah, it's just a matter of rotating it and dropping it, yeah?
Yeah, but my point is that getting it operational would make noise, right?
We just have to cut the cable. We don't have to operate it.
Oh,
Well, to get under it.
Am I understanding correctly that the fabricator is nowhere near the cranes?
It is not near the cranes. The giant armored creature is the closest thing to the cranes. Potentially the lumberjack as well.
Is there anything that is already in the range of the cranes? Like if we rotated the stuff and then dropped it, there's something in range?
The armored creature.
Wouldn't it be easier just to
Move the creature?
Yes. Have someone stand under the sweet spot when it starts charging. Everyone else takes the fabricator, interrupts whatever it's doing.
Zephyrus, through Zephyrus's eyes, you see, as Zephyrus comes around that corner, the fabricator and the giant both glance that direction.
Oh, yeah, add plus 10 to that. That's a 27.
They do not
I'm sorry.
glance that direction.
That's right.
Thank you, Seifred.
Well, they do glance that direction, but then they just go back to what they were doing.
Esmond is going to relay to everyone that this alleyway to the right of where we're currently positioned is mostly clear. There are some smaller undead creatures in houses or storehouses along the alleyway that we would have to move to take out before they can sound any alarms. But we could potentially better position ourselves by sneaking into this right alleyway.
Oh, what about even further away, like navigating around so that we are coming from the opposite side of the big guy?
It would the train yard is all open space beyond these buildings, and trying to navigate around all of this to come from the opposite direction would take too much time, and the ritual would be completed by the time we circumnavigated to the other side of the map.
Okay, so who's going to take on the big guy?
Well,
Shalati looks at the tanks.
Here's the thing: if we have 10 minutes with those two guys occupied, then we can do what we can with the other guys, and then interrupt the spell before it completes.
Pronoun game. Rephrase that without using those guys and those guys.
Skeleton and Jelly are occupied casting a spell, getting a spell cast on it. So they're not going to do anything for the next 10 minutes until that spell finishes, yeah.
Why? Why wouldn't they just stop?
Is that
if
known?
they see you fighting?
Well, if they stop, then we've successfully stopped them from completing the spell.
Until they've killed us.
Esmond's going to pop back from Zephyrus's vision, and I'm going to bring Zephyrus back to us, actually, and relay to everyone. Okay, so there is the potential to hurt the armored creature with the cranes. It is the closest to being in position. Either the cranes would have to be moved or it would have to be maneuvered to being underneath one of them, but it is the closest to those. There is a giant lumberjack that is a 30, 40, 50 some odd feet away from the armored creature, and to the east of that is the fabricator and the cube that is being ritual, some kind of ritual spells being cast on it. I propose that if we can manage to sneak into this alleyway over here, that we have Araya use your silence spell on the fabricator, stop the ritual entirely, but also potentially stop it and the cube from harming us or casting any immediate spells at us, while the rest of us jump out and try to attack the armored creature and or drop some of those pallets from the cranes on top of it. As a note, I believe that the runes that are carved into the shell of that armored creature, if those runes are disrupted or
Dispelled?
potentially dispelled, if something is done to those runes, it will affect the creature, and I think that it would make it less powerful.
Would scratching it with a weapon work?
Potentially, I'm not 100% sure, but if we can dispel, I don't know if dispelling the runes necessarily would work, but I believe I more strongly believe that scratching the runes, disrupting the runes, would cause them to be ineffective, and that would immediately, or hopefully immediately, cause some kind of negative reaction to the armored creature.
Okay. Let's,
And where the giant is near the cranes, the armored creature is really close to us.
The armored creature is the closest thing to us. It is near directly under the cranes. The lumberjack is not far from that, and then to the east of that lumberjack is the fabricator and the ritual.
If Araya and I get on the roof, she can hit it with silence. I can hit it with fire.
Potentially,
To kick things off.
And if
Which it, the spellcaster.
Yeah, the skeleton.
And if our tanks can get out and distract and try to attack the armored creature, that could potentially give me an opportunity to get into the cranes and try to operate it and drop at least one pallet onto something.
Okay. Shalati sort of cracks her knuckles and looks at Salinger and Kibbeth.
Is being up in the crane the most useful place for you to be?
I don't know. It would, but either myself or Shalati would be the best at operating the crane.
No, you and the crane would be greatness.
Sorry, folks. I've got to go to bed. So.
Good night, Kate.
Good night. Good night.
Yeah, I should listen too.
We'll be done, person.
Okay, then I will perhaps stick around.
As long as, I mean, if you're in danger, don't get too far away, but if you think being up in the cranes is the best, then do that, and we should hurry.
Araya, if that's what we're gonna do, then make Esmond not seeable. And then go, Esmond.
If I'm doing one, I might as well do two. Oh, wait, hold. Let me just check 1 second. For a reason. Hey, it's, I can't do both. I'll make him invisible, and the moment I cast silence, he'll be visible.
That's fine, he just has to get up the crane unseen.
Presumably, once you cast silence on the fabricator, that's when things are going to kick off.
Right.
With O's mind link ability, he should be able to help navigate us so that we all can operate and sync our timing together.
Right. When I cast it once, I may as well cast it twice. Does anybody else need to be invisible?
Sure, why not?
Just
Wait.
We don't have a lot of time.
We don't have a lot of time.
Oh my god, I understand that we don't have time, but the plan doesn't sound like a plan. What's our A team, our B team? What's the like group of who is going to? I think that we simultaneously should be distracting the big things while silencing and attacking the other things. So who's doing what?
Isn't that what we're doing?
Here's the plan. Araya and I get on the roof. Araya silences the ritual going on. I blast it with fire. Meanwhile, Ez, invisible, gets on the crane. Our tanks distract the big thing so that the crane can go over the tanks, drop the wood on the tanks, or on the turtle.
And possibly get hurt themselves, so it has to be...
Yeah.
Right, so which people are going and attacking the silenced...
Everyone else who's not already named.
Yep.
Okay.
So Kibet,
Right,
Salger, and I will be underneath the crane. Ez will be on the crane. Araya and Casey will be on the roof. And then Ava, Peach, Seifert attacking the other one.
We need to go now. We're going to lose our window.
Yeah,
2
we
minutes.
should do that. To Seiferd's point, it could just be one of us holding that thing in place while we drop something else, and you two could jump after the...
I'm casting
if you want to. I could
invisibility
handle
on
the big one.
Beth and Ez immediately.
We're moving.
I have some
Sal?
ways of keeping eyes on me, so maybe that will help.
And I'm going to use a sorcerer point to twin this spell, so...
As soon as you begin to cast your first spell, we're going to go into initiative.
Well, I'm also
Should we
going to
walk?
cast a spell at that moment then.
Okay.
Yeah,
everyone
should we move over?
simultaneously cast your first spell.
Wait. I was gonna say we should move over to the other end of the alley instead of wasting rounds getting over there.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, can we do that?
Well, I was going to say, Esmond had noted that there were creatures in that alleyway along the way, so he would note where to look for them. So, I don't know, Chris, if that would give them...
The invisibility
I just now saw
place.
that... I just now saw that there's like a countdown timer happening.
Yeah, like, this is why I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go, and Casey, lead the way.
Are we attuned to the new items we have?
Yes. All right. Duplicates of Casey appear, and as the final seconds begin to tick down, that's where we'll stop for tonight.
Charlotte's definitely going to grab that her glaive back from Peach as they start running over.
Yes, Peach would do that before combat began.
I typed in long strider
These are
fast.
characters where they are. This
Okay.
is where you,
Yeah.
this is where you are.
Cool. Just chat box. I typed in the long strider thing just to make sure I made it.
With great haste.
That's why it's spelled badly.
I'll note as well that that Esmond would have instructed Typhon to go with Shalati.
Or like no time has passed. Like this is where we freeze. Combat initiative started, and we will go from here. So things that are already in chat have been done. Things that have not been done yet. Be open as you can.
All right, good night, folks.
Night.
Night.
Night. Did we roll into initiative, or that's just what's happening next time?
That'll be the first thing we do.
Okay, cool. Just making sure I didn't miss it.
You got there, guys. You got.
I also, it was funny, I saw the timer when there was 2 minutes, I think. I was just like, oh, fuck.
And so I was like, we need to move.
Nobody else can see anything, right, DM?
I don't think so.
Gang, it ain't good. It is not good.
I told Ez to make the call.
You did.
We're gonna win.
Yeah, but letting it cast the spell on the big thing is the absolute worst possible start. So, like, we have to stop that, at least, or attempt to stop that attempt.
Some version of us that we remember is gonna win this fight. Of that, I can be certain.
I mean, Casey can solo the gelatinous cube.
And Sal could solo the big Doomadillo.
Ooh, please tame the Doomadillo.
I will tame it with violence.
Don't you want Poppy
That's the
to
same
have
way
a
I tamed
friend?
Poppy, to be fair. I tamed Poppy with violence.
Gang. This thing ain't gonna get tamed.
I like when you're like legitimately nervous, you go into Scooby-Doo lingo, like almost every time.
It just Oh, it's so big.
We've got like 9 whole rounds.
We can ride it.
And rounds
It's
is longer than
terrain.
most
You don't have
combats
to
have ever been.
Yeah, you don't have to fight terrain. You just have to scale it.
I think if this goes more than 9 rounds, it will have been your longest combat ever.
Oh yeah.
For these characters.
And you're losing both Jess and I later in October.
Oh, no.
Theoretically, if we're not going crazy with traveling, there are days that I can play while I'm in Japan. It's just, it'll be like I wake
What
up.
time is it?
So, 4 o'clock Pacific time is
Tomorrow?
9 a.m. in Japan time. It's not terrible.
Morning D&D? What?
I know.
What
it's
is
a little
the
weird.
what is the first session that you'll definitely be gone for?
Oh, let me look at the calendar. Probably while I'm in Hokkaido.
Well, when does your trip begin?
I leave on the 14th.
Okay, so
I'll
you'll be
be
here for
gone.
next
So,
session.
potentially the 27th is a no.
Can't wait to find out what y'all's alternate histories are.
Also, if you do happen to pop out of existence, there's always the possibility, and I'm not saying it's certain, but one of the big bad enemies also just happens to fade away and disappear, and then it's just the skeleton doing a dance by himself, trying to practice some moves, you know?
No.
There he went.
What?
I like that better than the glass breaking. Well, we kinda did it.
No one died.
Yeah.
That's gonna be fine.
If I jump and shove the cube out of the way right as the ritual completes, will it be cast on me instead?
You should try anything you want.
Alright, new game plan, guys.
Undead superpower Casey does not sound like a good time.
I mean,
What about other undead superpowered Casey?
Well, I mean, Araya, you could try it, but then you would be none dead.
yeah, because nuns.
I like puns.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd say if Casey did it, it'd be pun dead.
I just can't.
If Cypher did it, it would be bun dead.
Sean, I just can't get over your typing of long straight Romeo.
I was panicking. It had to happen.
You did such a
I
good.
need us to-
You did it. You got it in. I didn't even realize that was a thing. I was like, oh, okay, we're all casting things, so we'll have one thing to try to do. And then you're just like, we're frozen here. I was like, I should have been faster.
The only problem is you didn't cast Longstrider.
Oh no!
You cast L9 Ong Stricture.
Oh,
That's how,
no.
This is how the fly happens. It's how much it just turns into the creature from the fly.
No, I corrupted the spell.
Some weird horse hybrid.
Oh,
I still remember the ominous feeling of flipping over like a sand timer in D&D fans. Like, oh, sorry, that was a board game that does those timers.
Mm-hmm.
Just out of curiosity, Esmond, is the cube animated for you on your screen?
doesn't appear to be. It's definitely more artfully realized, but it doesn't appear to be animated in any way.
It might be a thing you have to enable. On my screen, it's animated.
Please describe the jiggle.
It's jiggling.
Jiggle, 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 jiggle.
The jiggle is not good. It's all very
Bad
not
jiggle.
good right now.
Negative jiggle.
I don't know
This
if I
is-
I don't know if I included it in my description, but I definitely had a note here to describe the Death Brew Alchemist as jiggling defiantly at Casey.
I think you said that. You described different types of emotional jiggles at least 3 times in your story.
Good.
Because I jiggled physically every time you said it and tried to mimic whatever that jiggle was.